Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So it's the same day for me as the day I filmed my June garden tour, but it's a different day for you. And I think it's really funny because the weather for today said that it was supposed to be 88 degrees, almost 90, with the humidity index feels like 90 something. And I'm literally, it's 9:50 and I'm out here in a sweater. It is so cold. So 90 where? I don't understand. But I wanted to film another video today, mostly because I'm off and have time. But there are a few things that I really want to talk to you guys about. And I'm going to cover 3 different topics in this video. I have projects swirling around in my head. There's always stuff that I'm like wanting to do and wanting to work on, changes I want to make. I'm a fan of change. I love changing things, switching things up. And so I have a few plans that I want to talk to you guys about. And I've written some of it down to help me stay on task. But I think the first thing I want to talk to you about is my fall garden plan. I know a lot of you, especially if you live in the South, don't really need to start thinking about this yet, but I live in upstate New York. My season's very short, so it's definitely time for me to start thinking about the fall garden. So I googled what my first projected frost date is for my area, and it's October 18th is my projected first frost. Of course, that could change, no one actually knows, but that's what it is. And so from today, I have 119 days until my first frost. It's important to understand how much time you have between where you are now and your first frost, because that will help you determine your time frame, what kind of plants you can plant, how long you have to get them going until harvest, yada yada. So for my fall garden plan, I'm starting really small this year because, well, it's my first year large-scale gardening like I am, and I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. And this is my very first year. I have lots of gardening experience over the years, but this is my first year fall gardening. I've never tried to grow stuff in the fall. I start my seeds in the spring, I harvest in the summer, and then I'm done until next spring. But this year I definitely want to do fall gardening, so I'm starting small. I'm gonna grow broccoli, cauliflower, nasturtiums, radishes, pumpkins, and carrots. That's my goal. I'm gonna try. So I just wanted to talk to you briefly about my plan. For the broccoli, the cauliflower, and the nasturtiums, I'm gonna start those indoors probably today. The radishes, I'm gonna direct sow them July 12th, somewhere shady. It's still gonna be hot. It's gonna be very hot, July, and so I know that they don't really like the heat, but I really do wanna get them going, and with it being a root vegetable, you don't really wanna start those indoors. So I'm going to, I might even put them in a grow bag. I haven't decided yet, but I'm gonna put them somewhere that doesn't get a ton of sun to hopefully help them, get started. And then the pumpkins, I'm going to direct sow those today. And actually, I already know exactly where I'm gonna put them. I'm going to put them along the inside of my tomato bed so that they can grow into the center where I just have mulch. That'll give them plenty of room to spread out. I'm probably going to try to grow 5 or 6 pumpkin plants, and I'm growing, I have a burpee pumpkin here, and it does say for seeds, for pies, seeds, and carving. So I figure the reason I want to grow pumpkin so bad is because I bake with pumpkin a lot in the fall time, and I would really like to can my own pumpkin. 100%, I'd love to do that, because every year I've purchased pumpkin, pureed pumpkin in the aluminum cans from the grocery store, and that is definitely on my list of things that I'd like to do myself. So I want to grow that and learn how to can it. So we're gonna try to do that this year, and I think that that's the perfect place. I've got plenty of room to grow those there. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm probably gonna plant those today. And then carrots, I'm gonna direct sow those also July 12th. Now, so from July 12th to October 18th, that's 98 days. And the packet of carrots that I have say that you should be able to get a harvest 75 days from when you plant them. So that gives me a little bit of wiggle room because A, that frost date's not a hard set date, and B, just in case they take a while to get started because of the heat or what have you, that gives me a little extra time, little leeway there to try and really get that harvest before it starts frosting. So I'm gonna direct sow those with the radishes July 12th. So just to recap, broccoli, cauliflower, nasturtium, starting those indoors, and I'm gonna transplant those probably July 12th, mid-July. Radishes and carrots, I'm direct sowing July 12th. Pumpkins, I'm gonna direct sow today. Pumpkins take a while. I wonder if this packet says. Oh yeah, it says harvest 110 days. And I have 119 days until my first frost. So, whew, cutting it close on that one. Definitely sowing those babies today. All right, so that's what I've got for my fall garden plan. I know it's not a lot, and I know that there are others out there who are doing a lot more, but that's what I have the resources for. That's what I have the space for. And these are all things that I know I'll eat. And to be honest with you, even radishes, those are, I've never eaten a radish in my life, but I've been seeing a lot of people grow them and cook with them, pickle them, things like that, and I just think they look so yummy, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Nasturtiums, I've never grown those before either, but I hear that they do really well in the fall, so we're gonna do those. But broccoli, cauliflower, pumpkin, carrots, definitely want. So I think that for this year, this being my first year, I think we're starting in a really good place. Something else that I want to talk to you about, and I'm really, really excited. So my husband and I have been throwing around the idea. So my house has 3 bedrooms. It has our bedroom, a spare bedroom, which are all on the first floor, and then another bedroom upstairs. The upstairs bedroom is not, the whole upstairs in general, this is an older house, it's not very well temperature controlled. The downstairs definitely, like the heat and air, well established, well temperature controlled really well. So right now we have the downstairs spare bedroom as a game room, and Tom and I have our PCs set up in there, and that's where Tom spends the majority of his time because he games a lot. Before we did that, before we converted that spare bedroom into a game room, we had our computers in the main living room. And I really loved having them in the living room, and I was really sad when he wanted to set up a game room because I spend the majority of my time in the living room on the couch if I'm relaxing. And so I knew that we wouldn't be together as much because he used to have his desk right next to where I sat on the couch. So we'd be right next to each other doing completely different things, but in my mind still spending time together. But it was okay. It's what he wanted to do, and I wanted him to have what he wanted. So we did the game room, we painted it, got everything set up. He has recently been saying that he wants to go back into the living room. He liked being out there. And so I said, yeah, sure, like let's move everything around, get you set back up in the living room. And then I started throwing around the idea, because I used to have that spare bedroom, I sacrificed it for him. It used to be my closet, and now the upstairs spare bedroom is my closet. And so I said, okay, well now that that bedroom is gonna be open again and I'm fine with my clothes being upstairs, what if I convert that spare bedroom into a pantry / seed starting room? Because I had started my seeds in the main dining room, and it drove Tom crazy because we couldn't open the door because I didn't want the cats to get in there and bother my seeds. So that room has stayed really closed off, and he wants the dining room to be open again. So I said, well, how about I put everything in the spare bedroom? We can build shelves. I can have my pantry in there for all of my canning that I'm gonna be doing. All my food storage can go in there, and I can also have my shelving units for my seed starting that you guys saw earlier in the year. And so I kind of snowballed the idea, just kind of planted the seed in his head, and we talked about it last night, and he seems to be really on board with that. And that's really exciting for me because we're gonna have to kind of renovate that space to make it happen. And I have no home renovation experience at all, but I really want some for when we do finally get to build or buy or renovate our dream home on our dream farm someday. So I think we're going to move ahead with that. We're gonna rip up the carpet. I've already been shopping for tile. We're gonna tile the floor. Obviously, if you're gonna have a space where you regularly start seeds, then you have to have an appropriate floor to match. So I think we're gonna tile the floor, and I already know which wall we're gonna build shelves that I don't want to bring in like wire shelving units. I want to have like built-in shelves for all of my canning and food storage, and this room is going to be my little homesteader room, and I'm super excited about this project. And I will be filming the whole thing, the whole renovation, and I will show you. I will of course show you what the room looks like now, and then also show you what it looks like when we're done with that project. But that brings me to one more thing. So we've covered 2 topics: my fall garden, the renovation of the spare bedroom, and my plan for it. And there is one more thing that I want to talk to you about, and that is that I've decided in this same room that we're renovating, I'm going to have a small year-round indoor garden. I'm going to try. I've never done such a thing, but I'm going to give it a shot. And so far, what I'm going to grow is not a lot, just a little bit, but it's because I want to see if I'm successful with it at all, and then if I am, it'll grow, I'm sure. But I'm gonna start with growing lettuce and spinach, basil and oregano, and then I'm also gonna grow mini bell tomatoes. Have you ever heard of those? Let me show you. I've got the seeds already, let me find them. It's a Baker Creek seed. I know you're probably thinking that there are a lot of little micro tomatoes that you can grow. There's one that was really circulating on Instagram a while ago. It was like, what was it called? Like mini hat, or like, it was some kind of like little orange tomato that people were growing, and it was tiny in little pots, and it would give you these cute little orange tomatoes. So I know that there are other options, but I already have these seeds. I bought them last year, or maybe even the year before. And so I'm gonna give that a shot. And I want to build something, I think. I don't think I want to use just a wire rack. I want to build some kind of like indoor garden box of sorts. I don't know. I have a vision. We'll have to see how that unfolds. So stay tuned. That's going to be in the same video as us renovating the spare bedroom in the first place. That'll be included. And so in that same room where I have my seed starting operation and my pantry food storage, I want to have an indoor garden. Here's why. There are a couple of things from the grocery store that I just cannot bring myself to buy, even in the wintertime, because obviously unless you have like a big greenhouse setup or you're in a place where it doesn't frost and you can grow year round, there are things that you just can't grow outside. Me being in upstate New York, there's lots that I can't, most everything I can't grow in the wintertime. And I won't buy those things from the store because they skeeve me out. And lettuce and spinach are one of those things. I want to vom thinking about lettuce and spinach store-bought, and I don't know why. It's so weird, but like anytime I hear somebody be like, or I see it on the news, like E. coli breakout from lettuce coming from this California manufacturer, yada yada, and I'm like, bleh, bleh. It's so gross. Lettuce to me and spinach are so tender and fragile, and they have to go through such a journey and touch so many hands before they make it into our kitchen, and it skeeves me right out. I can't bring myself to do it. And if I do buy it, I have to wash it with soap and water. And then it degrades the quality, blah, 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 blah. So I don't eat lettuce and spinach in the wintertime because I'm not gonna buy it from the store. So I would really, and it's so easy to grow. Lettuce and spinach are so easy to grow. So I think if I grew those indoors under like a nice light setup, I think that they would do fine, and I think that I would be able to have lettuce and spinach all the time. I'm not worried about that one at all. I have full confidence that I'll be able to pull that off. The mini bell tomato, we'll see. I've never grown an indoor tomato before. I imagine that's what it's for. So I think I'll be able to pull it off. I'll probably have to mess with the temperature on that one, like maybe have it underneath a heat mat or something. I don't want the room to be unusually warm because I don't want my food storage to spoil. It has to be kept pretty normal, if not a little chilly. So there's that to contend with, but I think I'll be able to figure it out. And then basil and oregano, I've had no issue growing them whatsoever. Even when I started them indoors, I started them really early. They were really big when I put them outside. So I think I'll be able to pull that off as well. So that's where I'm starting with my indoor garden, but I definitely want to take you along on that journey because I think a lot of people could really benefit from what I'm trying to do, and I'd rather you watch me test it out first and see if it's successful, because I haven't heard anybody talking about this. None of my YouTubers that I follow that I know of are doing something like this, so I'm kind of excited to do something a little different because I do have the feeling that I kind of just, I don't want to say copy what the other YouTubers are doing, but it's also similar in the homesteading, gardening, farming world. We all do a lot of the same stuff. So I'm excited to do something a little different, and I'm really excited to take you along because if you can grow stuff during the wintertime as well, that will save you money, something that you can have fresh at your fingertips. Of course, I want that for you. So just to recap, the fall garden for 2022, I'm growing broccoli, cauliflower, nasturtiums, radishes, pumpkins, and carrots. And then we're renovating my spare bedroom to become my pantry seed starting indoor garden operation. And then for my indoor garden, I'm doing lettuce, spinach, mini bell tomatoes, basil, and oregano. So I just wanted to come and have a little chat with you, kind of explain where my head is at, and the upcoming projects that you're going to see me working on, so you knew what to expect, and to just kind of plant the seed that you should possibly start thinking about your fall garden. Like I said, if you're in the South, your season's a lot longer than mine, so perhaps you don't have to start thinking about it just yet. But if you live in the North like I do, your season's very short. I have 119 days until my projected first frost. It's really time for me to start thinking about what I want to plant, when I want to plant it, where I want to plant it. So just wanted to have a chat with you about that. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope that you have an awesome day. Bye.